welcome to the Monday, August 28th meeting. No, go away. Welcome to the August 28th council meeting. I open this meeting up at 7:12. Thank you everybody for your patience for the delayed start. We have a member on our dais who's arriving a little bit late, and we need legal counsel here to be with us. I always start our meetings with some mindfulness breathing, and if your Monday has been anything like mine, having a little pause and a reset is mostly is well needed for me and maybe for you. So I invite you to close your eyes and look downward, or sit quietly and put your feet on the ground. Get a little bit centered. Start noticing your breathing. And if you're like me, I've a little short breaths because I've had a really busy day. And notice how you're sitting. And maybe turn your head to the sides and relieve some tension in your neck. Take a deep breath and let it out. Another one. So becoming present in a community meeting has been important for me, and I think council for the last year and a half since we've started this, which helps us to become more centered. We have really busy days and are in our full-time jobs, and redirecting our attentions to be here with us is an important pause to make. So if you can count to 4 on your inhale and perhaps count to 5 on your exhale, do 3 of those on your own time. Start now. Bring your attention to the sounds in the room, who you might be sitting next to. One big last inhale. Blow that out. Your body a little shake. Take away the Mondays. And remember to wish yourself well and send positive energy to the people in this room as we come together and focus on important business for the city. And I always am grateful for your involvement in being here. So that with that, I welcome you to stand in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
James.
Present.
Leaks May.
Here.
Mikulski.
Here.
Polika.
Here.
Piana.
We're all here. Woohoo! Next up is the approval of the agenda.
Mayor, I move that we table 7H, consideration of an ordinance that bans types of retail pet sales, for a future date.
I support that motion, given that our legal counsel isn't present. However, I think procedurally we would amend the agenda and then separately address that. I'm pretty sure.
You mean
You would amend the agenda to the regular for discussion, and then move to table.
Right.
Say that again, please.
Yeah, run that past me one time.
Through the chair, you would amend the agenda, pulling item 7H to the regular agenda for discussion. And then at discussion.
Oh, we table it.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
so
Should be-
restate that. Okay. I move to amend the agenda to move 7H, consideration of an ordinance that bans types of retail pet sales, to the regular agenda for further discussion.
Support. Which is now 8C.
Now 8C. Moved by Mikulski and supported by James.
James,
Yes.
Mikulski,
Yes.
Leaks May,
Yes.
Polika,
Yes.
Piana.
Yes. All right. Next up are presentations, and we have 5 presentations tonight. And the first one is a resolution honoring the volunteerism of Kate Baker. Hang on, let me pull up the agenda. It is with sadness on behalf of City Council that after 15 years, I think, Kate Baker has resigned from the Planning Commission. And Kate has been a longtime public servant for the city of Ferndale, being a volunteer for the Downtown Development Authority prior to her being elected to Ferndale City Council. No, it's right here.
Oh, okay.
And where I got to know Kate when we were in urban planning school together. And Kate has been a consummate public servant over the years, and has really been someone who has been teaching others how to lead in a community. And her leadership and participation on the Planning Commission spans 3 master plan updates, 2 non-motorized plan formations, 1 new plan, 1 update, countless changes to zoning ordinances, countless public meetings, and really just trying to address equitably and admirably the needs of our residents when it comes to planning and zoning. And so I'm honored to recognize Kate Baker's volunteerism over the years with a resolution that I would like to read on behalf of City Council. At the regular meeting, I do declare at the regular meeting of City Council of the City of Ferndale, Oakland County, Michigan, held on the 28th day of August 2023, the following motion was moved and supported unanimously. In November 2007, Kate Baker was elected to the Ferndale City Council. In January 2008, Kate joined the Planning Commission as the council liaison. In 2012, following her tenure on the City Council, Kate was appointed to the Planning Commission as a regular member. Kate has been a steady hand in guiding new Planning Commission members and staff throughout the years with her vast institutional knowledge of city processes, policies, and programs. Kate has been a tireless advocate for inclusivity by giving members of the public a welcoming microphone to express their thoughts and has worked to ensure that all voices are heard in the planning process. Kate has participated in the reviewing, drafting, and adopting of 3 land use plans and the city's first ever climate action plan over her 16 years of service to the city of Ferndale. Kate has reviewed over 7 planned unit developments, ensuring more walkable, pedestrian-friendly, and neighborhood-complementing projects, such as the DOT and the Life Lab Kids expansion. Kate has taken keen interest towards development projects that have cleaned up contaminated sites throughout Ferndale, including 409 on 9 and Parkdale Homes. Kate has advocated to transition many city streets into multimodal transportation corridors, improving access to neighborhoods and commercial nodes throughout Ferndale, such as Livernois Avenue, Marshall Street, and 9 Mile Road. Kate has always believed that affordable housing in Ferndale is a right through her support of the Raymond E. Shepard House and her advocacy of incorporating affordable units and developments where possible. Kate has supported sustainability initiatives by working to include electric vehicle charging stations, increased tree canopy, and rainwater diversions and developments. Kate has espoused that Ferndale's heart is its downtown by championing placemaking and pedestrian scale through improved design requirements. Kate has given her time, energy, and talents to the Detroit Artist Market, 8 Mile Boulevard Association, Ferndale Education Foundation, Fern Care Free Clinic, Detroit Experience Factory, Michigan for Immigrants' Rights, and the Ferndale Downtown Development Authority. Kate's dedication and expertise have been invaluable, and her contributions have helped to shape the future of Ferndale for generations to come. And Kate, in all certain terms, will be sorely missed as a planning commissioner and an unwavering advocate for the city of Ferndale. So there it be resolved that Mayor Melanie Piana, on behalf of the Ferndale City Council, extends the city's gratitude to Kate Baker for her years of volunteerism to the city of Ferndale. Kate is the definition of what working with and for the community means. Thank you, Kate. All right. Moving on to presentation. Oh, sorry. So sorry. I would like to open it up to council for comments, and of course,
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, Kate.
Yep, don't go anywhere.
Kate, hang on, Kate.
You didn't do nothing, but I wanted to say a few words. It has truly been a pleasure working with you on the Planning Commission over the past several years. You have been an incredible asset to both the commission and the city. Your knowledge and experience of urban planning has left an indelible mark on our city. Whether or not you've realized it, I have relied on your counsel so many times. I value your thoughts and opinions so very much, and I'm really going to miss you in your participation on the Planning Commission. And my only hope is that you get really bored and you ask to come back. So, thank you.
All right. We're moving on to 4B is the introduction of the new Downtown Development Executive Director, Jenny Beaker. Come on up.
Through the chair, I can introduce this item. Jenny Beaker is the recommended executive director for the DDA. Jenny was approved by the board during their meeting on Thursday morning last week. She comes to us with a lot of executive and project management strategic experience. She is a Ferndale resident, perhaps most importantly, a graduate of the Ferndale Learn program. So quite near and dear to our heart. But we are looking forward to welcoming Jenny with this final confirmation of her appointment. And Jenny, if you could just introduce yourself.
Good evening to the council, to residents and stakeholders who are also here. Thanks for coming out tonight. I'm Jenny Beaker. I'll be celebrating my 10-year Ferniversary here in December. I moved here from New York City by way of several other places, and Ferndale just seemed really extraordinary to me. I did not know as much about the area. When I got here, I realized, oh, this downtown really is incredible, that I can walk to all these places. And it's been just a real treat to see this area grow over the last 10 years. And I'm even more excited to be part of its future. I'm extremely passionate about equity, inclusivity, diversity, and most importantly, I think sustainability, that what we're growing here in Ferndale should be for everyone, and it should be able to last. So I'm really excited to be part of this future and looking forward to working with you all.
I'm so glad that you're here, Jenny, and I look forward to working with you on the DDA as well as the rest of council and the new ideas you're going to bring and partnership with Summer, who is currently serving as program manager for the DDA. Welcome, and glad you're part of Team Ferndale.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. We are on 4C, which is the public service recognition for Assistant City Manager Kyle Paulette. Joe is going to introduce this.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We had to make an adjustment. Kyle is joining us virtually, so this is a little bit of a COVID throwback for us. And I will just ask our IT, are we confirmed live? Kyle, can you hear everything?
Yeah.
We're live. All right. Well, now that your screen is up front and your face is huge, this will be really awkward for you. Yes, staff, this will be Kyle Paulette's final city council meeting as the assistant city manager for Ferndale. And I did prepare a resolution acknowledging Kyle's contributions generally into the public service field. I will read that now. Reflecting on Kyle Paulette's hiring process, I recalled that Kyle was recruited in September 2019, just as I was set to step away on paternity leave. I warned him that the onboarding process would be brief. He'd be expected to serve as acting manager in approximately 2 weeks, having never served in the city manager role. And that his first big priority would be to negotiate the purchase of land in Martin Road Park, our park, land that we did not own, for the future splash pad project. Kyle unflinchingly accepted his appointment as the assistant city manager. Prior to his Ferndale appointment, Kyle served as a community outreach representative for Congressman Sandra Levin and later for Congressman Andy Levin. Kyle has a reverence for governmental institution and democracy's potential for positive impact. His career has orbited public service from his days organizing volunteers in Macomb County to his current role in our office. In March 2020, Kyle played an indispensable role in leading the city's response to the pandemic. Like many institutions, Ferndale was forced to triage decision-making with little foresight into the day-to-day rule changes, policy adjustments, and communication needs that would lay ahead. Kyle acted decisively and swiftly. He prioritized city council agendas, configured the organization's virtual meetings, a process that was ultimately emulated by other local cities. He negotiated tough budget cuts. He developed systems to manage an influx of federal funding via the CARES Act and American Rescue Plan Act, and I was really grateful for his federal experience. He had all the right instincts. Two organizational processes that improved dramatically under Kyle's leadership were the city's now 6-year capital improvement plan and the shift to program-based budgeting. Kyle redesigned the CIP, making it more inclusive for staff and council to align with our new program-based budget. His professional contributions are truly commendable. However, one cannot tout Kyle without excuse me. Without acknowledging his personal contributions to the team, led by his courage and incredible sense of humor. He is quick with a witty comment and a wry side smile that reminds staff not to take themselves too seriously. In 2022, as we celebrated the opening of the splash pad that was located on the land that he negotiated, he gave one of those wry smiles and joked that his priorities are complete. So, on top of this, Kyle, we also requested a public service tribute from the state of Michigan. And so we have a representative from Helena Scott, Greg Humphreys, if you could walk up. This is going to be a little different than we had planned, but there is a little camera up here. I'd like to present that in front of him, and then if you could come up for a picture.
Nice.
I'm familiar.
Thank you, Kyle, on behalf of could you
Yeah, go to the mic.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm Greg Humphreys from State Rep. Helena Scott's office. On behalf of the state of Michigan, we wanted to present that tribute on behalf of the great work that Carl has done for his tenure here, and it's signed by the governor, signed by the lieutenant governor, and it's signed by your senator, Mallory McMorrow. And we want to say, let me share a personal thing with you. When the manager called our office to ask for the tribute, we knew we had to do that. We knew, based on what the manager had told our front desker, who was Jess, that we had to get this out, and we had to get the governor and lieutenant's governor on this so they can recognize, the state recognize all the contributions that Kyle has made to Ferndale, not only Ferndale, but to the state of Michigan. Because the state of Michigan is made up of cities, and Ferndale is one, and through his leadership, we appreciate it. So, thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
I really appreciate these resolutions, and I'm on behalf of myself, I knew this day was coming, and I have thought about how you've even helped me personally as mayor. Your federal experience and your ability to respond in such a quick time. Hey, Kyle, I'm going to the White House. Can you give me some bullet points to talk to the vice president about these things? And lo and behold, I have the most professional bullet points of what to convey to these electeds in the White House in like 2 to 3 days. And I've done that multiple times, bypassing Joe and just going to Kyle. And your contributions during some of the hardest times for the city of Ferndale through COVID, and really crystallizing our investment process of tax dollars through the capital improvement plan and the program-based budgeting has been a game changer. Storytelling about why we invest in what we do here. And I am most grateful for your humor, your laugh, your wit, and your professionalism, and you will be missed.
Thank you, Mayor.
If I may, through the chair. Kyle, you're one of those employees who has worked behind the scenes. So many residents may not know what a huge asset and contribution you've made to our community. It has been so great working with you over the years, and Mayor Piana and Joe said so much of what I would have said. And your accomplishments are so incredible. And I wanted to make sure that I got you something to remember working with us. And I know you can't always make it out to Ferndale. So when you're not able to, at home, you can have your own little splash pad. And you can remember, and you can remember all the hard work that you put in to making that splash pad happen for our city. So, thank you.
If I may, through the chair.
Go ahead.
So Kyle, I remember meeting you when you were working for Congressman Levin. And liking you right away, you were just always present. I mean, when he was not around, you were around. And those are my first meetings with you, and just realizing then what a dynamite person you were and are. I always thought you should run for office. I thought you would. But had you done that, we wouldn't have gotten you here in Ferndale. So we're the lucky ones, and we thank you and wish you nothing but the best on all your endeavors. And please keep in touch with us, because as the mayor pointed out, you are a wealth of knowledge, and we want to keep using you if you're open. So thank you for all that you've given to the city, to the cities, and to the state. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you. I'd just say I move too slow to run for office.
If I may, through the chair, Kyle, I just want to thank you for being a really great person to work with over the last 4 years. I feel like in a way we're part of the same pledge class, and it was really fun to get to know you and work directly with you. I would echo and reinforce and highlight the role that you played in helping us to conduct really, I thought, well done remote meetings and hybrid meetings And to let the public know that we were a bit ahead of the curve on that. That was thanks to Kyle. And you have no idea how many other cities called to get advice from Kyle on how to do it. We just couldn't have done it without him, frankly. And then, candidly, the reason that we had to kind of revert back, I would have liked to have continued hybrid as often as possible, because, you know, there are folks who can't get here, right? And I wish that they could have participated, but it took so much of Kyle's time, and we really needed his expertise in other areas, and I'm grateful that he had such flexibility that we could utilize him in these different ways. But I'm just so grateful to have had this opportunity to work with you, Kyle, and wish you the best of luck, and I hope that we get to see one another. Sorry that you couldn't be here tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
And through the chair, it's so funny that you said that it's like he was part of our pledge class, because it really does feel that way. Kyle, when I first met you at the elected officials meeting at the MML, I was just so impressed with how much you knew, how forthright you were, and just how candid you were and friendly. It's really been an honor to know you. It's been a strange time for all of us. What a time of transition and challenge. But through it all, you really have just impressed everybody that's encountered you. You've been my go-to when it comes to program-based budgeting. You've answered all of my questions. I know you just joked that you're too slow to run for office, but you were always fast with an answer. And I really appreciate you. You really have made this such a great time on council, and I appreciate your contributions.
Thank you.
Yes, and COVID keeps on giving.
It does, messaging to come on that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kyle. That concludes our acknowledgement and praise of you.
All right, thank you all so much. I sent a few thoughts earlier, and I've got another week to go. So, feel free to respond or keep in touch. Thank you.
We're gonna have a ribbon cutting for your splash pad.
Ribbon.
No. All right. Thanks, Kyle, for being here tonight.
Yes.
All right. We are now moving on to 4D, is presentation of the Ferndale Beautification Awards for August 2023.
Good evening, Mayor Pana and City Council. I'm Ed Minus from the Beautification Commission, and tonight I'm here to present the awards. And I'm telling you, there was some amazing homes and properties and gardens this time around, and I just want to thank you for encouraging beautification and thank the winners for their hard work. First one, I was going to, one last thing. This time what we're going to do is we're going to give everyone their award, and then at the end, we're going to take a picture of the 4 winners, all up here in front with the mayor. So the first one that I have is 174 East Woodland, and that is Donna O'Neill and Kathy DeVos. Wanted to come on up here. And please tell us a little bit about your property and what inspired you and all that.
I know.
Well, I've been a resident of Ferndale for about 20 years now, and I love the city. And if you love your home, you do what you can, and you make it the best. And I appreciate all this. I appreciate all your hard work. And actually, I appreciate Kyle and the splash pad, because I have 6 grandkids under 8.
Oh, wow.
Anything else?
Anything else you'd like to say? I appreciate it.
It's been a labor of love. I joined Donna as a partner in 2000, I don't know, long time ago. And we moved to, I moved to Ferndale with her in 2015, and we just, for the past almost 10 years now, we gutted the whole inside. We then did the backyard, and then we just changed from a yellow house to a blue house and added some extensions. And so I think we're ready to do the basement next. Thank you.
Thank you.
It doesn't. Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, up next is 2332 Highland, David and James. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your property? Your inspiration, or? No, okay, that's fine.
Actually, we just hit the 20-year mark in Ferndale as well in July. Just labor of love. It was a weird house. We had 2 driveways, and which the old garage is converted into the master bedroom now. But we still had 2 driveways. So we had the one driveway removed on the left side, and we had it sodded and everything, and it looked really nice. But then we had a pollinator garden, which is registered with the state. Is it the state or the Monarch Society or something? And so we just put the sod in last season, and it's all torn up because we're extending the gardens. And I have no idea how far it's going to go. But
nobody does.
Nobody does. But it's fun doing it.
It's always in progress.
Right? It's always in progress. And, it's something we're doing, and just like, talking to the neighbors coming by and just chit-chatting about everything. And we have people come by all the time. There's just tons of all kinds of butterflies and hummingbirds, and it's pretty cool. And especially when they bring their kids and the kids walk on, we just put some paths so the kids can go in and get a deeper look at the pollinators and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Well, thank you.
So thank you.
Presentation is to Rachel at 509 Jewel. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you. You want to tell us a little bit about your home?
Sure. I bought my house in 2017, and there was nothing at all done to the landscaping, and I had never done landscaping at all. I come from a family of green thumbs, and I kill every single inside plant I've ever owned. So I told my mom I was not interested in gardening when she tried to get me into the mother-grandma trend. Then the pandemic hit, and I couldn't leave my house. So I did start to finally get into gardening, and I found that I absolutely love taking care of my rose bushes. And that's not the best photo of them, but I am telling you, in June, it is a sea of colors, and it makes me so happy to go out there and see the bees and the butterflies. And my backyard, I ripped out all of the grass and put a pollinator garden in, and I have chickens. And yesterday, I made my very first breakfast with everything from my own garden except for the cheese. And it was awesome.
I might want to add that Rachel has chickens, so that's why she used everything from her garden. All right, our next award is for 695 Pearson, Audrey, and Kyle. Congratulations. Would you like to say something about it?
Oh, sure. So we're really just inspired by the neighbors and the community, and they trade plants with us and they help each other, and it's a beautiful thing. We're the crazy hosta house. We don't have a lawn, we just have a lot of hostas. The house is going on 100 years old. We rented it for 5 years and then ended up buying it about 8 years ago, and we're just grateful to be its caretakers. And anyone that lives in one of these little old bungalows knows that every time you fix something, 2 other things break. So it can be very, very daunting, so it feels extra special to be acknowledged for our efforts when we make them. So thank you to the Beautification Commission for everything you do, and we feel really special, so thanks.
Get a picture, that would be great.
I just recognize how feel-good the last 10, 15 minutes were of our city council agenda. I'm just proud of us and our community. I'm all warm and fuzzy. All right, on to the last presentation is 4E, is approval of the resolution declaring the month of September as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Ferndale. And Denicia is presenting.
Good evening, Council. Instead of reading you the resolution for tonight, we actually have Kelly Kashnowski from the campaign who will be talking about a little bit of her work.
Kelly, that's a lot to follow. I'm crying. Anyway, so I'm just here to support the Tie Michigan Teal campaign. September is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. Here on behalf of the Michigan Ovarian Cancer Alliance, you'll start to see these teal ribbons around town to remind you about the symptoms of ovarian cancer. Now, awareness is so important for this cancer because there's no good screening and there's no good tests, and you kind of find it on a lark, and most people find it a little bit too late. The symptoms are things that you might go, oh yeah, I have that: bloating, abdominal pain, difficulty eating, feeling full quickly, changes in urination, so all things that seem normal. But I think we all have that little voice inside that says, you know, something's a little bit off, and here in September, this is your reminder to go talk to your doctor when things feel a little bit off. I felt a little bit off, I had a little bit of pain, went to see my doctor, got an MRI. I had a tumor the size of a small watermelon, and I didn't even know it was there. So by the time they took it out, I was really happy to be gone. I was really happy that it was gone. I'm completely clear now, but if I had known these symptoms, I might have been able to catch it even a little bit sooner. So tell your friends and family, make sure they talk to their doctor, they get their prevention screenings on a regular basis, and just thank you to the city of Ferndale for helping us support this awareness campaign, especially in the month of September. I will say that 1 in 78 women will receive this diagnosis in their lives. It's a lot, and if we catch it early, we can really help to find it sooner and help people stay alive longer. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kelly. All right. right, folks, that is the conclusion of our presentations on the agenda, and I'm moving to call to audience. We set aside 30 minutes for anybody to come say what's on your mind, and we ask you to follow the discourse with dignity guidelines.
Mayor, can I interject with a point of order, asking that we actually vote and approve the resolutions?
Oh, yes.
Through the chair, you could adopt all the resolutions that are presentations as one motion if you wish.
I would like to move that we adopt all of the resolutions in the presentation section.
Support.
Moved by James and supported by Mikulski, and I appreciate your point of order.
James?
Yes.
Mikulski?
Yes.
Leaks May?
Yes.
Polika?
Yes.
Tiana?
Yes. All right, moving on to call to audience. If you have something on your mind, I invite you to come up to the podium, and you have 3 minutes. We have a really big clock over here to help keep the time mindful. If there's anybody here who would like to say something, you're invited and welcomed and encouraged. Start us off, Greg. Thanks.
No, thank you. Once again, I'm Greg Humphreys from State Representative Alina Scott's office. I just want to bring you some information. As you know, that she's the chair of Energy, and she's been on a listening tour around the state collecting information regarding people's experiences during blackouts. So this Wednesday, our final stop is in Pleasant Ridge, and I have flyers back there. We have various federal, state, county, and city elected officials as our guests. So what we ask is that you come, share your experiences during your blackouts. Bring some ideas on how to eliminate that. What we have on our agenda is solar, battery, biomass, wind, nuclear, because this year she's starting the energy rewrite. And the energy rewrite means that the utility companies have to abide by the laws that they put into place. Now, there's a solar cap limit in the state of Michigan that was just raised to 6%. It was 1% before she started her tour. There was also $25 a day from DTE before she started her tour. It went up to $25. If you notice, there are a lot more commercials regarding DTE. So because of this, they're doing that. So we want people to come out and just share their experience. If you have any energy knowledge, please come out and share with us, because the legislation is written by people like you and like us. So if you just come, we appreciate it. Bring your experiences, bring your knowledge, and we will listen to you. It's from 6 to 8 this Wednesday at Pleasant Ridge Community Center. So we welcome your participation. Thank you.
Is there an email address that we can send something to if we can't attend?
Yes, it's Zoom, and then we have, you go on Facebook Live.
Oh, you're doing, oh,
Zoom and Facebook Live.
but we can email with our ideas to whom?
Yeah, you can email to our office.
Okay,
Okay?
excellent, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, any other folks who would like to make a public comment tonight? This is typical for the last meeting of the summer before Labor Day weekend. So, all right, I am closing call to audience, and I'm going to move on to the public hearing. And we have 4 steps to the public hearing. We have the overview or introduction by city staff and or the applicant. We move on to public comment, and then we open it up for city council questions, and then we move into motion and debate. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to Kyle, our planning manager, I think. I don't remember your title at the moment, right now.
Not a planning manager, but I'm a senior planner.
Thank you.
But good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. So for tonight, we have a proposed alley vacation. I can do a little bit of background. So we are looking at a general aerial of the site. This is Bermuda. At the top, you can see 696. It's not exactly clear here, but this line that my mouse is following is actually the boundary between Pleasant Ridge and Ferndale. So this whole area is known as Iron Ridge. It's a mixed-use project area. So there is some commercial, there is some office, there's some industrial, and then of course, this is a dated aerial, but all these lots here on the east side of Bermuda, that is where the flats of Iron Ridge is going up. So the owner of Iron Ridge did come to us earlier this summer. In April, actually, they are going forward with a few other multifamily projects along Bermuda, but they also came towards this project here that's outlined in red. So this is the existing parking lot that's on the west side of Bermuda. They want to bring that up to current ordinance standards, beautify it, add some, more robust stormwater mitigation, add some landscaping. It's going to complement the site as a whole. They also came before you on May 22nd for a special land use for a carry-out restaurant. So, as part of all that, they agreed as part of their conditions for the Planning Commission site plan approval to seek to combine the properties. There is an existing alley that juts in the middle of all this. So as one of their conditions, they were to seek and request a alley vacation. So that is what we are here for tonight. You did approve a resolution back in July to schedule a public hearing for today's date, and then we did put it in the newspaper for 2 successive weeks. If we zoom in a little bit closer here, it gets a little blurry, but you can see this little strip here. This is the 16-foot alley in question. So it does dead end into this building here at the Pleasant Ridge boundary. There's no real public need for the alley, and we had discussed this with police, fire, and DPW, as well as engineering. We will retain an easement for any public utilities, and as typical for these splits, the bottom 50% will go to the property to the south, and the northern 50% will go to the property to the north. In this case, it's the exact same owner going to both. The alley on the east side has already been vacated, so that's why it does not continue on the other side of Bermuda. We do have the owner. We do have some engineering representatives if there are any questions. Otherwise, the resolution's in the packet.
All right, next step is opening up for public comment, and I'm going to open it up at 7:59. Is there anybody here from the public who would like to make a comment on this proposed vacation of the east-west public alleyway? All right, seeing none, I'm going to close.
Your Honor,
oh.
May I just ask a question of the plan? The proposed resolution for council does, just for everybody on council to, I'm sure, recall, it does reserve an easement to the extent there are any public utilities in the particular area. So that is reserved in the proposed resolution.
Okay, thank you. Chris? And I do want to mention that the photo that you showed of the property, it looks quite different now from the aerial view, since the flats at Iron Ridge Apartments are largely constructed. The parcels on the other side of the red line there are gone, and there is a mixed-use development of housing there now, per the development project. All right, seeing there's no public comment, and we've closed public comment, moving on to council for additional questions for staff. I usually hand it over to the planning commissioner liaison to give any insights beforehand, if you would like to share any thoughts or.
Thank you, Mayor. I really don't. This is really cut and dry. The property in question isn't of any significant value to the city remaining as an alley. It would be of better use to the developer who owns the properties on each side to maintain it, but still allowing us access for any utilities that may have to be accessed. As Kyle mentioned earlier, this came to Planning Commission for the entire project. It was voted on unanimously, and we saw this project also come through for the special land use. So this isn't a coming out of nowhere kind of project.
Okay. Thank you. Any other question from council? If not, we need a motion.
I move to approve the east-west public alley vacation between East 10 Mile Road and Mapledale Street as submitted by city planner.
Support.
Moved by Polika and supported by Leaks May.
Polika?
Yes.
Leaks May?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Mikulski?
Yes.
Piana?
Yes. All right, we're moving on to the consent agenda, and I will read its entirety, and council can make their decisions on how to move forward. All right, 7A, approval of the August 14th, 2023 meeting minutes. 7B, approval of the listed appointments and reappointments to city boards and commissions. 7C, consideration of amendment to Chapter 7, business regulations and licenses generally. Article 20, medical marijuana facility and marijuana establishments of the city charter. 7D, approval to remit payment to Fishbeck in the amount of $3,500 for environmental review services at Martin Road Park, and authorization for the Parks and Rec Director to sign the accompanying agreement. 7E, approval of the resolution for the Michigan Community Center grant and authorization for the city clerk to certify the resolution. 7F, approval to perform work between the hours of 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. Monday through Saturday and Sunday to complete the Woodward Moves project. 7G, consideration of the proposal to update the city's public broadcasting system in the amount of $59,719 to be paid from the city's cable fund. 7H was tabled to the regular agenda and is now 8C. 7I, approval of the payment for repair to fire department fleet vehicle at the cost of $6,949.73. 7J, payment of tuition for paramedic school for 3 personnel at the cost of $27,855. 7K, consideration of the appointment of Jenny Beaker as the Downtown Development Authority Executive Director. And 7L, approval of bills and payrolls as submitted by the Finance Director and subject to review by the Council Finance Committee. What is the pleasure of council?
Mayor, I move that we accept the consent agenda item as presented.
Second.
Moved by Leaks May and supported by Mayor Pro Tem James. Can we have a roll call?
Leaks May?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Mikulski?
Yes.
Polika?
Yes.
Piana?
Yes. And I do want to call out and allow for the introduction of our new Planning Commission member who was appointed just recently under the consent agenda for appointment. Sam Michelle is here, and just want to do a quick introduction.
Good evening, Council. I'm Sam Michelle. I am an architect with Fanning Howey Architects. I've been living in Ferndale for 16 years, a former member of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Hair is a little bit grayer this time around. Dan, Chris, glad to see your hair isn't as gray as mine. But I'm happy to be able to serve the city of Ferndale again. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam, for volunteering. All right, and moving on to our regular agenda is the first item is 8A is consideration to approve Cobalt Community Survey Agreement. Welcome back, Denitzia.
Good evening. I have to say, presenting the quadrennial city survey, the last time that I did this, it was my first time ever presenting to council, so I feel right along with you guys as far as that class comment is concerned. But, all right, let me just slideshow this really quick. Alrighty. So, our Cobalt Community Survey is coming back. So what is Cobalt Community Research? They are a Michigan-based 501c3 nonprofit org who serves local governments, schools, other organizations. And as I just mentioned, they provided services for us in 2019 when they did our last community survey. And they're here to provide high-quality metrics, population segmentation, et cetera. So why does Ferndale need Cobalt? We would like to obtain a robust pulse of the community and stay up to date on community metrics, and we'll be doing this every 4 years. And Cobalt will help us ensure the privacy of all of our residents. So as I mentioned, the survey in 2019, you can still check that out on the city's website under the city manager's office. It'll look like this here, first box under relevant services. And the community survey showed us in 2019 that our residents primarily use Facebook and Instagram as their main source of information for the city. And so from that, Riley from our communications team has actually increased our Instagram following and our engagement to make sure that we're capturing that segment of the community. And we also found that residents did want to bring back the city newsletter. So our communications department refunded the newsletter as a community priority because you guys said you wanted that, so it's back. Some local examples, Cobalt has worked with the city of Royal Oak to do a survey, the city of Troy, Simcoe, and Orion Township, and those were all within 2021 and 2022. So very recent. As far as the methodology, we do have Cobalt Executive Director here, Will Saintamore. Could you come up and speak to some of these points? He's the subject matter expert here.
Thank you very much. So if you guys decide to go with us, we would draw a random sample of 1,500 residents. It would be truly random, so it does mirror the population overall. And what that does, it allows all the voices in the community to be expressed that aren't normally expressed, because people who come to meetings like this or watch it typically aren't representative of the community as a whole. And so we want to make sure that we're getting all of those voices. And we'll do that in 2 ways. We have a unique survey ID number, so people can only respond once. We use that purely for double checking the sampling to make sure that we are getting a good cross-section of the community. We also use that for reminders. So if you complete a survey, we don't waste the postage in the paper to send you another one. You'd have the option of completing it both online or by paper, again, using that control number. And for those who are not part of the random sample, we still want to hear those ideas, those thoughts, and have them included. When they have the survey ID number pop up on their screen, they can just type in Ferndale and participate. From a statistical standpoint, we do keep those folks separate, but when we bring you your results, those are all connected, so you'd see the results of both the sample folks and the non-sample folks. But we would want to preserve kind of the representation of the non-sample, of the sample folks, so you do get that mirror of the community overall. We do an annual benchmark across the country where we look at about 90 different metrics. So we would be tying that in with your survey as well, so you'd see not only how well you're doing, but as your scores have gone up or maybe gone down a little bit since 2019, you'll see how other communities in Michigan, in the Midwest, and in the US, how they moved as well, so that you can get a sense of context, because the world has changed a lot since 2019. And then we also look at what are the drivers of certain outcome behaviors, like people remaining in the community, recommending it to others, starting a business in the town, all of those kinds of things. So it's not just satisfaction, not just a fluffy thing. We really want you to understand what are the drivers and have that detail of how individual demographic cohorts responded, so you get all of those perspectives. Welcome. And one other thing, just with all the gardeners that we had in here earlier, I'm a beekeeper, so it warms my heart to hear all the pollinators and the good things going on in the garden.
Also, with the results presented in summary and crosstabs, the crosstabs show how each question in the survey was answered by individual demographic groups. So we make sure that everyone in the community is heard. As far as our timeline, Cobalt has their own 5-step development process. We've gone through the kickoff discussion so far, and then we have the questionnaire development, the assessment development, which is when the surveys go out, and then modeling and analysis is when they analyze our results, and then reporting. As far as the timeline for Ferndale surveys, we're in August right now, seeking council approval. We will have to go through the survey development as far as choosing questions and that sort. And then we're looking at the first wave going out in mailboxes in October, second wave in November, and then looking at results and reporting in December and January, depending on how, holidays work and things of that sort. So with that, any questions?
No questions. Glad we're going through the update.
Actually, I do have questions.
Sorry, go ahead.
So the development of the questions within the questionnaire, is staff going to assist in developing those questions?
Yes, the last time we did the survey, we had a group of staff help us to develop those.
Okay. Is there a particular focus we're going to be looking at this time around?
No, I think just generally getting a general pulse for the community. We're not, nothing specific that I...
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair, I had a couple questions. I referenced the Cobalt Community Survey from 2020 and saw that we had an estimated 754 homes that were vacant. Are we going to pull those potential vacant homes out of the survey population so that we're not sending out the material to a home that's never going to respond?
We're actually pulling the results from the voter registration list. So as long as people are updating their address, then it would go to an accurate address instead of just resident at the home number. That also gives you a greater opportunity to, again, get more diverse results because if it goes to the home, typically it's the head of household that tends to respond, which has kind of a different demographic bias than the voter registration overall.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Actually, through the chair, I have another question. So, since you're using the voter registration list, is it to a particular individual? Because there are times where there's two people who live at the address. They may be roommates, they may be married, they may be brother, sister. How do you, is it a specific person or is it to anyone within the household?
It is to a specific person, but we do have the service developed, so if someone else wants to take it in on the online portal, they can just type in Ferndale and participate that way.
Okay.
That way we're getting all those.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Excellent. Thank you. I look forward to seeing the results and, I won't be on council to take any action on them, but I'm looking forward to where we progressed up or down over the last 4 years with the pandemic. I think that will be really insightful. As well as more of our investment in communications and customer service. So that will be helpful as that's just getting started, the customer service policy. Okay. We need a motion to proceed on that.
Mayor, I move that we approve the Cobalt Community Survey Agreement in the amount of $18,245 as submitted by assistant to the city manager.
Second. Moved by Mikulski and supported by Mayor Pro Tem James.
Mikulski?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Leaks May?
Yes.
Polika?
Yes.
Piana?
Yes. All right. Moving on to 8B is the consideration of mayoral appointments for the 2024 Finance Committee. And helping present this tonight is our city manager. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Give me one moment to transition, please. Okay. All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. I will provide a brief just overview and recap of the process since Council last resolution in July on the subject. So a brief overview. just on the mission. So the objective of this committee that was formed on July 10th in concept is to provide a recommendation about the potential for a 2024 millage ballot initiative. The three key factors the committee will need to understand are property tax implications of any action, staffing levels and government service levels, and then the potential for forward progress on the 2022 Facilities Task Force recommendations. The questions that they'll face is really how a millage renewal will sustain current staffing and service levels, how a non-renewal impacts current staffing and service levels, how a millage renewal may impact facilities progress per the 2022 report, how no renewal may impact facilities progress per the 2022 report, and alongside that, we'll be asking the finance director to provide example estimated property tax summaries correlate with any direction, so we understand the broad impact on the household. There are 9 committee members. We have one alternate position that could be appointed. This is just a brief definition of the roles on the committee. This is very similar to the Facilities Task Force role and any other specialized commission or committee role. So you do have a chairperson and a vice chairperson to help lead the meetings and work directly with me and our facilitator on preparing for agendas and communicating to the membership. We have members, and then the alternate really is a position. One, I recognize the scheduling of this. The time is going to overlap with the holiday season, and that could potentially create a lot of bottleneck conflicts. So I think it's probably behooves the committee to keep an alternate position who's still relatively engaged in the subject matter and able to step in should there be absences. And this will be mimicking Open Meetings Act, so we will be looking for quorum to meet. So with 9 people, we'll need 5 to meet. A little bit of the application progress. On July 10th, Council authorized the resolution to form a committee. On July 12th, we opened up the application period, and then that went open until August 10th. Overall, we received 27 applications. The mayor conducted interviews and then conferred with council. Tonight we have the confirmation hearing. And then if we're confirmed tonight and we have a committee, I will begin immediate communications and scheduling for an orientation session in September so we can begin our work. I do expect these committee meetings, pending technology, our IT department, to broadcast those, so to simulcast them. So we'll make those available on our YouTube. I'm pending still feedback on a service request. So 3 things to key in on at the outset, and that house is actually intentional in the picture, are the General Fund Capital Improvement Plan and 2022 Task Force in terms of planning systems. We'll be talking to the committee on. So on the general fund, again, the reason we're here, really, what's pushing the decision right now is that the 2015 voter-approved millage is set to expire. That expires in December 31st, 2025. So that millage right now accounts for 30% of property tax revenues, or about $3.7 million of the general fund budget. General fund funds general service departments like your police, fire, public works, parks and rec, city hall, and IT, which was established after the millage. They will be looking at that is really the catalyst for a decision to be made. Forward-looking impacts, you can see casting that forward. The yellow shows the voter-approved millage from 2015, and then the forecast for fiscal 26. And we operate on a fiscal, not a calendar year. You can see that 30% haircut in the 2026. And then on the right, you can see a table of how that affects forecast millage values. On the capital improvement plan, really, I just want to key in on the piece of our budget that is capital. Right now, the general fund budget today, because we've cut it significantly since the onset of COVID, is at about 5%, takes up about 5% of the general fund overall budget. So that's about $850,000 to $900,000 in capital funding for all of the facilities and fleet and other capital project requests funded for general services. You can see before that we were averaging closer to $1.5 to $2 million per year. A lot of that really dictates on the life cycle and the health of your assets. A highlight of that is a key in, this is from the capital improvement plan that was adopted by council last year, is our fire fleet. So our fire fleet is out of life cycle compliance. We've been working hard to get them back into compliance. Council approved the authorization of ARPA funds to purchase a new engine and the new ambulance, which it's 2 years in waiting, so we're still waiting for the delivery of those vehicles. But we still have other fire apparatus that need to be changed, and those aren't cheap. Those come at a tune of $700,000-ish, and those are vehicles that if you have a fire service, you can't forego. So those can't be defunded. We still have to move forward on those. So we do so creatively as it is today, but the bottom line is those vehicles are going to be coming due as well. So those are going to be key capital decisions that we'll have to make in the coming future. And then the 2022 Facilities Task Force. This is actually, I cut this out of the task force presentation from last October when council approved their long-term facilities plan. Their takeaway message towards the end of their recommendations was to not throw good money after bad. And the reason they said that is because council approved a facilities condition assessment, and the condition assessment identified significant millions of dollars of investment that's required for our aging municipal facilities. And so after their work, they studied, they concluded that to continue the same facilities investments out of that limited capital funding for ancient facilities that are really not going to be getting them up to par with current standards would not be a good use of money. And so the recommendation really is, well, it's based on the report, which I won't represent here, but there's a prioritization report for how to handle facilities that deals with new construction and consolidation and shrinking facilities as well. This is an example. So last year's capital improvement plan, which was adopted in November, that followed the October report by the task force. Those decisions changed immediately what was on the table and what was off the table. And so you can see with the resident task force recommendations, our projected 6-year capital needs for facilities is about $4.2 million. Before that report, we had forecast, this is based on the facilities condition assessment, was about $16 million in general fund capital needs for facilities. That's just facilities, that does not include fleet. That is just the background. Really, tonight's presentation or agenda item is really about the confirmation process and an introduction to the applicants. So I will cede the camera to the applicants and council.
All right. I'm going to, if you go back to the slide for the application process, can you go to slide 5?
Right here?
Yes. I'm going to talk about the green square because that is sort of where my role comes into play as helping go through the applications. And originally, when City Council passed the resolution to form the residential review committee, we said 7 people. And because we had so much interest and had 26 applications, and after I reviewed them, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Most of the people I didn't know and really thought it was fantastic that so many people were interested in participating in this important process for the city. And so I called all the council members and asked if it would be okay to go up to 9. And then, thought an alternate position was also a good idea given the holidays, and just trying to figure out how to stay a quorum of 9, but also provide someone who could continue on in case someone was absent. Overall, I was really impressed with everybody's background who applied, and I'm just grateful people took the time to say that this was something that they wanted to do. And unfortunately, 26 applicants with only 9 spots made the review process very challenging for me. And I know I called all of you to ask for your input on some of the candidates, and feel really excited by the final slate and look forward to hearing what they have to say and recommendations, because this review committee is going to last longer than this council body. They're going to receive a new council body in January, and so, which basically says how important is citizen involvement is to continue on good city policy and provide solid recommendations on where to move forward and invest in. So with that, I think, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we had really an uneven, more women than men apply, all ages, from 20-year-old on up to, I think, 60, 70-year-olds. We had applicants from every quadrant of the community, which is something that I looked at. We had people who've had no experience volunteering with the city, quite a few experiences, volunteering with many boards and commissions, and was just really impressed by everybody's background. Tried to make sure that we had a broad range of skills across what we were looking for, from finance, tax. We have two tax preparers, one tax preparer, but a lot of folks who have financial backgrounds in business. And so I thought that was a really good perspective. So with that in mind, I'm going to read the names of those who are on the final slate. And I'm really excited to say that Quinn Ziegler, who was on our facilities task force, is going to be the chair of the Financial Review Committee. The vice chair is TBD, but on this list, but I recommend David Hoppy. Member Kate Baker, Jeffrey Lotus, Kimberly Lennox, Dale Vigliaro, Brooks Cambielli, and Elvita Lozano, and Kyle Savoy. If you're all here, I welcome you to come to the podium and introduce yourselves. And I'll start with Quinn as our chair.
Hello, I am Quinn Ziegler. I have been honored to serve on the Environmental Sustainability Commission, the Facilities Task Force, and a number of other things. So looking forward to this process, and I thank you for entrusting residents to make this recommendation to council.
And as I said, there's quite a few people who I'm appointing tonight who I've had conversations with, but I haven't met in person. So if you would like to come up and introduce yourself, that would be fantastic. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Loftus. I have been here since 1997 as a Ferndale resident. I don't have any experience with a volunteer committee, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have a degree from Central Michigan University in public administration, and I was always meaning to get around to these things. But my experience was always in the automotive field, and so that's where I was. So thank you, Mayor, for having some confidence. I won't disappoint you.
Thank you. And Jeffrey is also a member of the Elks and has a really great perspective of the community, and I think a solid footing on where the community needs to go.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brooks Ciambelli. It's okay. It's Italian. It's my husband's name. It's okay. I am an 8-year Ferndale resident. My husband grew up here. He convinced me to come, and I'm happy that he did. I am a wife, a mother, a full-time professional in the safety industry, so I am fully invested in this community and keeping everybody safe and happy, and I cannot wait to be a first-time committee member and help in any way that I can, as I love this community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Lennox. I have been a Ferndale resident for a little over 7 years now. When I moved here, I thought maybe I'd be here for 5 years, and then I started digging my heels in, and just really grew to love the community. I'm very green. I've never been on a committee before, so this is new for me, but I'm really excited. I design websites and apps for a living, so this is, I'm not like a numbers person or anything like that, but when I was working in advertising, when I was first starting out in my career, one of my big clients was the Ann Arbor Area Transportation Authority, and I worked really hard on a campaign that was trying to, rally the community around seeing how important public transit was, and it kind of made me really passionate about getting involved in initiatives like this and, helping folks see how important these things are. And it was also really rewarding to see, the result of that 3-year effort that culminated in them getting all sorts of funding to expand their services. So it's a very long-winded way of saying I'm excited for this, and thank you so much.
I also want to let people know that Kim was one of the few residents who applied who went through the Fern and Learn program this past year, and so thank you for participating in that. But if you come and learn about city stuff, we also channel you into other things, so thank you.
Hi, I'm Dave Hoppy. I've been a resident since 2016. I look forward to helping out on the committee.
And he has excellent background and tax expertise, and so glad you're coming on board.
Hello everyone, I'm Kyle Savoy. Been a Ferndale resident since 2018. So I have a background, I'm a civil engineer by trade. So I know the importance of public infrastructure as well as funding the city. So my background now is more so in construction, facilities management. So looking forward to sharing my experience and helping the city become a better place. Thank you.
He said it best with his background. Perfectly aligns with what we're trying to do here.
Good evening. My name is Alvita Lozano. I'm a resident of Ferndale for over 20 years. I work for the City of Detroit in the OCFO in the Office of Development and Grants. I have cross-sector professional experience in the public and the private sector. I've been in city post-bankruptcy, serving as a program analyst. So I work with numbers and federal agencies all day long, every day, and read a lot of regulations. I have a lot of experience with finance and accounting, municipal finance, and I'm excited to join the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Elvita. Excited to have you here. And then for our last alternate, I am recommending, and I'm going to say his name probably incorrectly, even though he has told me. Our alternate is going to be recommended is Simrit Jahita, who is a Zillennial and has lived here for about a year, and he's disappointed he couldn't make it tonight, but I look forward to having his participation. Again, our task force has a range of living here from 15 to 20 plus years to 1 year. We have homeowners and we have renters, and we have someone from each quadrant of the city, and a really diverse group, I think, who bring a broad perspective to bear on our financial review. So I'm excited to hear what they learn and what they think of city government and where the recommendations can go.
Mayor,
I'm seeing a signal from Dan.
Through the chair, just as a point of clarification, given the thought of possibly increasing council's resolution with respect to the finance committee number, I propose that a short motion to increase the size of the finance committee from 7 to 9.
Plus an alternate.
Plus
so
the alternate. And I think Councilman Polka might have a motion.
So through the chair, if I may make that motion, I move to amend Council's July 10th, 2023 resolution, increasing 2024 Finance Committee, oh, that I can't read. Members from 7 to 9 with 1 alternate member.
Support.
Moved by Polka and supported by Leaks May.
This is why it's important to have a lawyer at your meeting.
Polka?
Yes.
Leaks May?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Mikulski?
Yes.
Piana?
Yes. All right, and moving on to the slate of appointees and opening up for questions or comment from council before we move on.
Through the chair, I'm really looking forward to this committee meeting and reviewing the information that staff will be presenting, answering your questions. I was very fortunate before I was elected to council. I was appointed to the 2010 financial task force. And it was quite interesting. I went in with one perspective and came out with a completely different perspective. So you're going to gain so much information you didn't even realize was available and what was out there. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the committee presents to council come January or February.
I may through the chair. I was really impressed to see how many, and there might be more of you, but I was impressed to see how many are first-time committee members. So I'm excited that you've decided to join the city and be part of the civic process, and I'm excited to see what you bring to council. If there are any more first-time members, you would just raise your hand. I just wanted to see. Are there any more? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, welcome. Thank you.
Any other comments or?
Through the chair, I would just like to acknowledge the work that the mayor put into reviewing these applications. I'm going through a hiring process at my office where I'm reviewing a bunch of applications, and I know how much time it takes. So thank you for doing that on our behalf and sharing your recommendations with us. And then I also want to sort of extend the same thanks to everyone who applied and those who are willing to volunteer your time away from your work, away from your family, away from your recreation, to consider these very difficult issues, and I urge you to enter with a lot of creativity and think about different avenues that haven't been explored or ways to discuss these issues that might be fresh and different than how we approach them. And to also think about and consult with your neighbors and your network, particularly those who tend to be underrepresented and underserved. In reading through your applications, I think you bring a lot to the table, and you bring your own network to the table. So keep that in mind as well. Thank you.
And through the chair, I would like to echo those sentiments. Thank you to everyone who applied and who was appointed. Also, thank you to the people who applied and weren't appointed. It's just so heartwarming to see that people answer the call when we put out anything. Everybody was eager to apply, and I hope that you stay engaged. I hope that we can find other opportunities for you to be engaged. And again, thank you. Looking forward to getting to know all of you.
It has been my practice to email or call everybody who applied but was not part of the final slate. It is also uncanny that every time that I need to appoint people to a task force, the deadlines in which I owe the city manager feedback is when I'm on vacation. So I unfortunately wasn't able to fulfill my usual approach to giving feedback to everybody who applied, but I will hope to start that this weekend and send convey my gratitude. So with that, I invite all of the appointees to come up and get a photo. I'm not sure if I need to be in the photo.
Should we do the motion first?
Oh, we'll do the motion first, sorry. We'll do the motion first, and then we'll have you come up and take a photo. And then after the photo, we need to appoint the city council liaison, so we're not done yet.
I move to approve the mayoral appointments for the 2024 Financial Committee as submitted by the city manager.
Support.
Moved by Councilman Polika and supported by Leaks May.
I have my second point of order for the evening. You mentioned at the dais, Mayor, the appointment of an alternate, Gita
Yes,
Simrit.
thank you.
And so I would invite Councilman Polika to amend his motion to include appointment of the alternate, because it's not in the packet.
It's not.
Is that the name that you read?
So, Simrit, Jhita. Simrit. I will pronounce his name wrong too. Jhita?
Gita?
Jita? I think it's Jita.
Gita? Through the chair, I amend my motion. I motion to approve the mayoral appointments for the 2024 Finance Committee as submitted by the city manager with the addition of Simrit Jhita? Yeah.
He will,
H-I-T-A.
he will correct us, everyone at the first meeting.
I apologize. I will learn to say that correctly. Pardon? As the alternate. Finish my motion.
I second that motion.
All right.
That amended motion.
Polika.
Yes.
Leaks May.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Mikulski.
Yes.
Piana.
Yes. All right, if everybody, all the appointees can come up on the stairs and our communications person will take your photo. I'll let her direct you. Taller people in the back. Kyle, please. Here. Should I be in the picture, Joe?
You should.
Yes, you should, Mayor.
Of course you should.
Finance.
If anybody wants to start their homework early, I encourage you to go to savemycity.org and learn about Headley and Prop A. Save My City, savemycity.org. The city manager will be giving you a lot of this information, but if you wanted to, get a head start before class starts, I recommend starting there. All right, so next item is that we need a city council liaison to represent council to the review committee. As practice, the liaison person is someone who goes and listens, represents council, but is not there to opine and put in political opinion, but is to help provide some insights and historical perspectives. It is tradition, or it has been sort of a practice in the last few years, that if you're running for office, that precludes you from actually being a representative on the review committee as the liaison. So, Raylan, you're out. It is also practice not to appoint someone who might no longer be on city council. Since this review committee is going through January, that means I'm out, and so is Mayor Pro Tem James. So, our two lucky winners for our council appointments are Councilwoman Mikulski and Councilman Polika. So I am going to leave this open to you two to decide who would like to be the representative from council.
You're brutal.
I gave you a heads up to help try to figure this out, but we lead busy lives, so at this point.
Well, I would be interested in being the liaison. I don't know if Council Member Mikulski is interested as well.
So through the chair, I would love nothing more, but at the last commission meeting that I was at, I believe Kira Sokol was there, and she looked at me and she said, you're on every commission, right? Because I am. I'm on a lot of commissions, and I know that I stepped into a new role with the Board of Zoning Appeals, or Zoning Board of Appeals. And that's even been meeting more frequently. So I just don't think that I can physically be there. However, I will try to come out to those meetings, and just in case you need a backup, I will try to be present as much as possible.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, so winner, chicken dinner.
Stuck with me, good gig.
I appreciate it. I
Sure,
joke, but I know how much extra time and effort this you put in for the facilities task force, and so I really appreciate on behalf of the council body that you're stepping up. And time commitments are a real thing for council members on top of everything else, and so just that is a normal and real consideration for all of us when signing up for more stuff. So.
Well, and I hope that my knowledge and experience of the budget, of historical context, of where we've been. I'm sure there's going to be questions about what happened 13 years ago with the 2010 commission when we first approved the Headley override. So again, you had mentioned I'm not there to present my opinion or direct you in a way that the committee isn't interested in. I am there just to support you in any way that I can. So I look forward to working with you all.
Thank you. And I think we need a motion to appoint you as the city council liaison.
I do move to appoint Councilman Polika as the city council liaison to the 2024 Finance Committee.
Support.
All right, moved by Mayor Pro Tem James and supported by
James?
Yes.
Mikulski?
Yes.
Leaks May?
Yes.
Polika?
Yes.
Kiana?
Yes. All right, next steps is that city staff take over and start convening oh, sorry. No, I'm wrapping this up. So the next steps of this event is that city staff take over and start scheduling and communicating directly with the appointees, as well as making sure all of the meetings are accessible and the information discussed and how that's progressing is also made public. So, all right, thank you very much. We are now moving on to 8C, which was the tabled item 7H of consideration of the ordinance that bans types of retail pet sales. And I think this is a quick one. I think we were going to table, but we need to do it appropriately.
Councilwoman Mikulski.
I move to table the item, the consideration of an ordinance that bans types of retail pet sales for further discussion with the ordinance committee.
Second. Moved by Mikulski and supported by Mayor Pro Tem James.
Mikulski?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Leaks May?
Yes.
Polika?
Yes.
Kiana?
Yes. All right, that concludes our council agenda tonight, and we're moving on to the city council call to council, starting with city manager department updates. Take it away.
Thank you, Mayor. I will actually begin this night. Why not? So I'll be giving some updates first on behalf of the DPW. Our interim director, Jim Jameson, and is out at a public works conference, so I'll be giving that update. So a couple things. Let me pull up his notes. Couple construction updates. Really, we're all mindful of return to school and how that could impact, and that starts this week, and it's going to continue for the next month for those parents with kids to acclimate to the new schedules. So Sylvan from Paxton to Burdett is going to be one-way traffic only until Wednesday, pending weather. Again, we had some weather issues that is causing delay. Obviously, the weather issues from last week certainly caused additional delays. The Pinecrest sidewalk that was newly installed in the spring has finally been completed. As I understand it, DTE finally finished removing the locations of their light poles, so that sidewalk should be free and clear now, and the project should be completed. If those barrels aren't removed by DTE, they should be by the end of this week. All of the, oh, sorry, that's jargon, so I'll just cut out as jargon. There was delayed pavement on streets for West Saratoga, Alberta, Edgewood, Stratford, Northway, Fielding, and Jean. Those are in the final group of streets that were scheduled for repaving. Those were delayed. That should begin on Wednesday night, and that should wrap up shortly after. Those are the key projects impacting school. There's also some additional water construction that's been delayed due to weather along Paxton, near Camborne Street, that's going to last also until the end of next week. And so that will impact some busing schedules. Sorry for the bad news, Council. In addition, I wanted to just give a quick service acknowledgement to the Public Works Department. They worked tirelessly after two pretty tough storms hit the region back-to-back days. So that is, each of those days they're working overtime. They are responding overnight to down lines alongside our public safety folks. So I just want to acknowledge their public service. It is appreciated and it is seen. And I hope you get some clear weather so we get a break. As a reminder, if you have experienced an issue with any trees or any flooding issues, we do use the data that you report on See-Click-Fix to better understand our infrastructure strategies, as well as to use for any other issue advocacy with other congressional representatives. As Representative Helena Scott is going to be speaking about the storm damage this Wednesday, we would reference our See-Click-Fix data, so it is helpful to kind of elevate our community's impact. A reminder, Labor Day is next Monday, and City Hall offices are closed in observation of Labor Day. There's also no parking enforcement downtown, so it is an opportunity to come access the downtown free of charge. I want to also echo my sentiments on the 2024 Finance Committee applicants. I was highly impressed with all 27. We read each application, and it was just really always heartwarming to see the talent and the interest from the community whenever there is a call for community action. So I applaud everybody, and I'm just marveled at the interest and the talent of our community. And then finally, council can expect a parking presentation from our parking director in September, which is going to be an update on their strategies for the parking system post-Woodward moves as the construction wraps up, hopefully by the end of October, and a newly designed Woodward is open again. That's enough for me. Dean, how about an update from the city clerk?
For voters who are on the permanent absentee ballot application list, they should be seeing those applications in their mail if they haven't done so already. Those should all be hitting the mailboxes early this week, if not late last week. You'll notice that on these applications there is an option to permanently opt into a permanent absentee ballot, which was passed by voters in the Michigan statewide elections in 2022 as Proposal 2. And we will be sending out ballots when we get them from Oakland County, likely the week of September 25th.
Thank you, Dean. Our senior planner will make an announcement on behalf of the Community and Economic Development Department. The senior planner has a name. His name is Kyle Bryce.
Thank you. Hello again. I just wanted to speak a little bit about the zoning ordinance rewrite project, which is still ongoing. We held our fourth and final public engagement event last Saturday at Wilson Park. Thank you to everybody who came out to attend it. Thank you for everyone who helped set up. In addition, DPW and Summer at EDA, kind of the unsung heroes and, moving things behind the scenes. So we were able to gather a lot of data at that event. But even though the 4 workshops are done, we are still asking for community input. So if you go to zoneferndale.com, we have transcribed some of the questionnaires from each of these events into an online survey. So we do have 3 of the 4 surveys up on the participation tab, and we'll have the sustainability survey up there as well in the near future. In terms of an upcoming event, I'd like to discuss or advertise the September 20th Joint Council and Planning Commission event. I think that's going to be really exciting. That's kind of our next big event, and then from there we are going to fully draft the document. So stay tuned for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Next, I'll just share a number of staff congratulations to Jenny Beaker. Staff is excited to work with you, and specifically, I want to acknowledge Summer Reilly, who has really helped keep things going at the DDA. Summer actually expressly sent a message wishing Jenny a warm welcome, and we're all eager to roll up our sleeves with you and get you started. So, looking forward to it. Sleeves already rolled. Robert Bircher, Deputy Parks and Rec Director.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Just a quick programming update on September 15th from 6 to 9 p.m. We're going to have Family Skate Night at the Curling Club. Families can register online for $10. You can skate, listen to music, eat, and have a lot of fun. We'll be selling concessions. And just a brief update on Geary Park. The Geary Park restrooms, they have been converted to manual locks from the remote locks so that our residents will be able to use the bathrooms again. Right now we have a porta potty over there, but for our rentals, our clients would like for those bathrooms to be open. So DPW has been working hard at converting those locks, and so we've been coordinating with DPW to manually open and close those bathrooms. So we're in the process of working on a schedule with our staff and their staff to make sure those bathrooms are accessible. Thank you.
Sorry, through the chair. When you say skate, I'm assuming you mean ice skate.
Roller skate, sorry.
Roller skate,
Yes,
okay.
yeah, roller skates.
Because we think of the curling club as having ice, so I'm thinking it's, okay.
Yep. So I failed to
Roller
mention
skating.
that. So families can bring their own skates, or we have skates for them to rent.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Fire Chief Robinson.
Good evening, everybody. I'll keep it brief, but there's actually a lot of good news to share. So the fire department for a long time has offered home fire safety inspections, and that proved challenging. Not everybody's schedule makes it easy to schedule for us to come into your house. Sometimes emergency calls get in the way. We have changed it, made it virtual now. And I just checked, and the link's not up on the website, so I'll work with comms to get it up there. But you can just go online. We put the whole process where you can complete it virtually. We have a QR code you can scan. If you want it before we get it up on the website, just call the fire department. We'll email it to you. But you can go ahead and take yourself through it. It gives you a whole list of resources at the end of as you answer all your questions. So you walk away with some great resources that will be emailed to you. And we actually have had one resident that when they did it realized they didn't have enough smoke detectors in their home. So you're able to message us right through it. And then it comes through a whole thing, and now they can benefit from our free smoke detector program that we do. So it allows us to connect and increase accessibility to a great service we provide in a really efficient and effective way. Segueing into that, just so I don't forget, we will be having our fire department open house October 14th. So watch for more information on that. That'd be a really fun day. And we're going to have some pretty cool cars. I think we're going to actually be able to do extrication. Thank you to Ford on that, because they're giving us some really, really nice cars to cut up. I have a Raptor and a Mach-E that we're going to be cutting into pieces. So it's a good time. On another note, fire department, we have had an amazing month. We found out that we got over $300,000 worth of grant money. So as the city manager is reporting on how expensive our toys are, and all of our equipment and everything we need to operate, just know that we are working really, really hard to soften that blow and do what we can to bring money in. So one is our AFG grant. That was about a $200,000 grant we won. And that's going to actually outfit our ambulances with power loads and power cots, which may not mean a lot to other people, but it means a lot to us and the service we can provide. And also buy 2 additional Lucas devices, which is mechanical CPR. So every one of our vehicles will have a Lucas device now, no matter which one responds to the emergency, which is a great step up of services from our fire department. The other grant we won, which is, I think what about a little over 100,000? That one's a great opportunity for other people. What it is, we wrote a workforce grant. We realized that there's a shortage of paramedics in the workforce in the state of Michigan and across the country. And Ferndale decided, instead of keep talking about the problem, be part of the solution. So we wrote this grant. We actually won it with the state of Michigan. So we received funding to put 6 people to paramedic school. So anybody who's already an EMT can apply. We'll be choosing 6 candidates. You will have all your school fees paid for and make $15 an hour while you're sitting in school. So we're hoping that removes a lot of the barriers people have to education, and that was my big goal, because I know the barriers are very real. And some people can't lose income or can't cover the cost of school, and this will actually allow us to provide that for you. So if you're interested, go to the website. Go ahead and just apply under the open firefighter, because we are actively hiring to fill our final 2 vacancies right now. But just put your application in there. I will delineate them out, and we'll be working on interviews to choose our 6 candidates for that program. So that's a really great thing. And then, again, hiring, so if you know of anybody that already is a paramedic, tell them to apply.
Thank you, Chief. The grant award, our success with grant awards has been remarkable since post-COVID. We've been bullish about it. I wrote about it a year ago, and we've secured over $2 million in outside funding in the last 2 years to support general services. So I'll be looking to update those numbers publicly as well as to the Finance Committee. It's important work that's being done. And that concludes staff's updates, Mayor.
Excellent. Thank you. And congratulations to the fire department. I know I said things online, but I haven't seen you in person. By that. All right. I'm going to start on the right side tonight for council updates.
I have nothing additional tonight.
Nor do I.
Okay.
It's already been shared, but I'm sharing it again. Welcome, Jenny, to the DDA. I'm looking forward to working with you and all the grants. Congratulations, Fire Department. Congratulations to us regarding our financial task force. And the mayor put it, she put it soundly, she said it soundly that this was just a feel-good night. I just feel good tonight. So I figure I feel like we've done a lot of great things. So a lot of great things have happened. So that's it. I'm just grateful tonight.
I have 2 things. Kyle mentioned it on Saturday, this past Saturday, we had a sustainability public engagement event at Wilson Park. It was really great. We were there for about 3 hours, and residents came out. We had a pretty steady flow of residents coming through. I would say 50, 60 residents stopped by and shared their thoughts on what sustainability not only means to them, but what they would like to see the city pursue in regards to sustainability, whether it be recycling programs or use of materials in building or water, rainwater management, just a number of things that people shared with us over Saturday. So I appreciate everybody coming out. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is, the last couple of months I have been knocking on doors for a candidate that is going to be on the November ballot. And one of the things that I've noticed since the last time that I ran for door knocking, well, I didn't run for door knocking, but I was door knocking the last time that I ran, was the increase in no solicitation signs. And that makes it really hard for us, because I won't knock on a door that says no solicitation. That message obviously means that you don't want to be bothered. I will leave literature, but it saddens me that I've missed an opportunity to communicate with a resident because they have this sign that says they don't want to be bothered, yet a lot of people will say, you never come into my neighborhood. You never come and see what issues are bothering me. And these are times that we do. I know that it's, not outside of the election cycle, but it is an opportunity for us to reach out to the community. And I just wish there weren't so many no solicitation signs in regards to that. I hope those people that do have them, you know, if you could make the effort to reach out to us if you have issues, because I really do want to reach out to you. So, that's all I have.
Thank you. And finally, I guess I have more of a, I'll be frank, a little bit of promotion of how I'm promoting Ferndale. Last week, on August 23rd, I participated and was invited by the Michigan Municipal League and Eagle as part of the, was it the Communities of Practice? No, what's it called? For Catalyst Communities, which are cities that are leading in sustainability. We're part of it because we're part of the Michigan Green Communities. I was asked to be one of 2 panelists on their non-motorized transportation and complete streets webinar, and believe it or not, Woodward Avenue going on a road diet is a pretty high-profile project across the state, and a lot of other cities are asking how did we do it. I put a presentation together to showcase Ferndale's sort of arc over the last 12, 13 years since we passed the Complete Streets Ordinance, and had 185 participants in that. Coming up in September 13th, I've been asked to join a panel of mayors at the Ann Arbor Tech 360 Mobility Summit, and it really is about mobility and equity, how mayors are shifting local narratives. And I'm joining the mayor of Ann Arbor as well as the deputy mayor of Pontiac, because Pontiac is about to go through a major shift in their downtown with the Woodward Loop. And then I just wanted to say I was part of the zoning public engagement. I couldn't go to most of them because I was on vacation, but I was really impressed with our planning team and how everything was set up for engaging and getting feedback from our residents. We lucked out and had really good weather, as it was outside in front of the dog park, which was a great location, I think. To catch people who weren't really coming to give their feedback on zoning rather than to take their dog for a walk, but it worked out. And then finally, I just want to recognize Rachel, who put so much effort into Transgender Michigan in the park, and I had an opportunity to walk around and say hi to everybody there, and really good feelings and direction of the city or the state of Michigan. Grateful to live in Ferndale as an LGBTQ supportive community. So out and about in the final days of summer. I don't know about you, but I truly love sleeping with my window open last night and look forward to a little bit more fall days coming ahead in September. With that, remember, rake your leaves soon, unfortunately. I know, that's coming. And have a safe Labor Day weekend. Enjoy your holiday, everybody. Thanks for playing and showing up. 9:10. Call this meeting over.